My name is Neil Tomba, and I'm a pastor from Dallas, Texas. For the last 18 years, I've dreamed of riding a bicycle across the United States. Today, our country feels more divided than ever, and I was determined to spend 33 days biking across America to learn how to talk to others about important things in a way that made them feel respected, heard, and valued. This is The Listening Road. Today is the 18th day of the ride, and none of us slept well. The accumulating pressure of riding day after day, sleeping every night in a new location, eating on the road, it was wearing on us all. We went to a local diner to grab some breakfast, and afterwards, I met a group of older guys around a table who dined there every week.
Our mission is to accomplish nothing.
Right.
Okay.
And to achieve nothing except an occasional outrageousness and to have no guilt about it. So that's us.
So y'all are trying to enjoy life.
We do that every day. One of the reasons we never offend each other is 2/3 of us have hearing disabilities.
So
we assume we missed the affirmative part.
So first, tell me about how you become a member of this club.
Invitation only.
Invitation
I
only.
created this club about 6.5 years
Why?
ago. Because I saw some poor lost souls who needed social contact and were achieving it on their own.
That's the honest to
Trying to help the losers.
Okay, so here's the question that came to my mind for you guys. Do y'all get to disagree with each other over substantive issues?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any substitute.
The BS meter just went off. He said yes, and he kind of called him.
Someone will bring up, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That accomplish.
Occasionally there's.
You have to recognize what part of the country you're in here. It's southwest Missouri, and it's St. Louis Cardinal country and very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do have a token Democrat at this stage.
Oh, that's right.
Who's the token Democrat?
That would be
Bud.
Bud. So, Bud, do they ever?
Bud's been married over 50 years, and his wife tells him what to do.
62 years.
Do they ever? 62 years married.
The truth is he's married to a Democrat, and therefore he masks his Republican tendencies to keep peace at home.
That's how he stayed married 62 years. He's a smart man. So here's a question. What's something that really concerns you?
What concerns me is the decline in civility in public discourse. The problem, I think originates with education. Somehow we failed to teach young people that America was never designed as a place to win the argument. It was designed as a place for the argument to go on perpetually, because the minute somebody wins, you've established a tyranny.
Wow.
And so we've lost that. So everybody's lined up on two sides, and they're committed to victory for their ideology, and that is the antithesis of the United States of America.
Victory over relationship.
That's right. This is the place to hold the debate. It's not the place to win it.
You guys, anything else just that you'd like to say? Just to
Order breakfast.
like to order breakfast. Okay.
Do you need prayer for your journey?
Yes, we do.
All right, bow with me, please. Father God,
After the group prayed for us, something happened that was completely unexpected.
We're making a little contribution.
Oh my gosh, you guys. You know what? We are not doing this. We've asked nobody for money.
I know, you did. You're the champ.
Y'all, thank you. This blows me away.
After that unexpected surprise, we got on our bikes and started the day in Joplin, Missouri, and are riding about 90 miles to Springfield, Missouri.
How's everybody feeling today? I could use 3 more hours of sleep. How are you, Wes?
Physically, I'm fine.
How are you emotionally, Wes?
Not so well.
Do you want to talk about it? You don't have to.
I'm sorry. friend Martin's sister, I think, is dying. The doctor was there today to make a decision on what to do. And it's just a sad thing. You know, I know how much he's hurting. I know how much her husband's hurting. I'm just a friend, and man, it's killing me. So I have no idea what kind of pain and anguish that is for them. It's just hard. It's hard when you think we have all this medical technology and equipment and we can't really do anything for them. And then you rely on the faith of God, and a lot of people think, well, if God doesn't heal me, you know, then I'm angry at God. And it's like, that's not the way it works all the time. And unfortunately, the outcome is not always the one we want. You know, they were able to get some closure, look at some pictures, think it's a good time. But it's hard. I don't know what else to say besides that. It's hard, man.
That afternoon, it eventually became hot and dusty. My bike was becoming harder and harder to shift, and eventually would hardly shift at all. So we all pulled over by a roadside store to get a cold drink. Wes announced to the team, without talking to me first, that everybody was tired and that we needed to jump into the van and get to a bike shop while we still had time. We had only gone 52 miles, and I was frustrated.
They can do what they want today. We're taking the rest of y'all home and getting rest and gonna go to a bike shop.
Hey, what are we doing?
I don't really feel like I have a choice at this point, Wes, so let's just go. I don't want to talk about it right now, okay? Good.
After reaching Springfield, we found a repair shop for our bikes.
Hi, Wes, how we doing? You know what? We just need to have a team meeting tonight. We're all good. I'm okay.
I don't know that you are okay.
I am okay. I am okay.
Well, my concern was if it's not a derailleur only, then it's going to take them a while to
Yeah,
fix.
and that's fine. But what we said was the team needs rest,
Well, I think the team does need a rest.
and that's what you and I need to talk about personally
Okay.
about that, and just expectations. And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to like when it's being talked about in front of everybody. I feel like I was just put in a position of if I disagree and something happens, then I'm like,
You don't have a way out.
yeah, it kind of. Is Caroline's bike being worked on too? Were you guys planning just? I thought we were coming here and letting the team go and go to the hotel and unload and get rested. Okay, so let's go, y'all.
We packed up and started driving toward the hotel. Inwardly, I was battling myself and my expectations, wondering if I'd made the right decision. The next morning, we left the hotel just after 7 a.m. and were on the road by the time we'd agreed on. I felt refreshed, grateful, and enthusiastic about today, which is our 19th day of our journey. We start in Springfield, Missouri, and ride through the Ozark Mountains with some 6,000 feet of climbing before we reach our final destination in Eminence, Missouri. At lunchtime, we stopped at a diner in the town of Hartville, Missouri, population 613, where I met Crystal and Kenny, and soon learned they were cousins.
So, do you all have people in your lives that talk to you about spiritual things, whatever faith or anything? Do you
Yes.
guys have people?
Yes.
Who talks to you about it, Crystal?
I go to church myself.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
How does your faith, or how does Jesus make a difference, actual difference in your life? What do you think?
Because if I didn't walk by faith and live by God, I sure wouldn't be here today.
Really?
Yeah. And they told my dad that they don't know what was going on with me. They did all kinds of testings. I was intubated, and they actually did give him 50-50 chance of me living. And it still can happen, and I might not be able to make it this next time it does happen to me. And I believe that it was by the faith of God that he had brought me back.
I need your toilet.
Wow.
So
What happened to you? Can I ask?
I had esophagitis. It's where my airway completely shuts off. And just my flu flap was open.
Wow.
Yes.
That's scary.
It is scary when you have a baby. Yeah.
How about you, Kenny? And is like Jesus important to you or your faith? How does it make a difference in your life?
It just, to me, he's there when I need him.
Uh-huh.
It just, I don't know how to explain it, but he's helped me out a few times in the big truck.
Really?
Yeah,
Tell me about your wife.
I had my, I think that
His wife was taken from him 8 months ago, almost 9 months ago. She had cancer. So he needs a lot of prayers. He's grieving pretty hard.
Wow, Kenny, I'm sorry.
It's still fresh to him.
Yeah.
You know, because he's taking care of the kids, and they're dealing with it. And when they deal with it, he has to go through it all again. And, you know, all the stuff in the house that he's been going through, it's just been bringing up memories.
How many kids?
2.
How old are they?
17 and 15.
I love how you said he's grieving and you're giving him permission to grieve, because even Jesus, when he was on the earth, felt anger and tears. Yeah.
I lost my brother. My brother was murdered 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years. And then after that, I lost my mom to stage 4 brain cancer. And now I'm losing my daddy. My daddy is fixing to pass away with COPD. He's on the critical stages of life right now. So within 5 years, it's been really rough. It's been really rough for our family.
We just go through it.
But you know, it's the curse that God has gave us to deal with.
Yeah, it's a broken world.
It is. And you know, it's just, you have to do it day by day.
Yeah.
It's a day by day thing.
But yeah, just a small town.
Just a small town with real life going on and real pain and real stuff. Yeah. Father, I thank you for these kind, hospitable people. And just in the midst of lots of grieving, Lord, I pray that somehow Kenny Crystal would know the very, very real presence of Jesus, who cares, who knows what it's like to live in this world. And I pray that you would bless them today as they've been a blessing to me. In Jesus' name, amen.
Although the road grew steeper, the skies cleared, and the entire ride today had felt fun. We had surprising conversations with people we would have never met outside of this ride. And there had been this sense that God was leading each one of us on life's journey, moment by moment, day by day. Our goal today is to ride 90 miles from Eminence, Missouri to Farmington, Missouri, with a total of 7,000 feet of elevation. We rode up and down hilly terrain all morning, and by lunchtime we were all ready for a break. We stopped in a small town and went into a convenience store. The owner gave me a nostalgic gift from my childhood.
Hi, Jeff. Hi. I told you no smoking on this trip. I mean it. You want a cigarette?
I didn't know they made those anymore.
You know, I'm not for smoking. I want to make that really clear public statement. But if you've watched It's a Wonderful Life, you know, Jimmy Stewart, there was just an art he made out of smoking a cigarette, you know what I mean? And just the way he did it, it just, it was almost magical.
Get that out of your mouth, it's horrible.
It's medical purposes.
Is that what you bought?
When I got all excited, she gave them to me. Oh, Bill. Well, I'm sure as heck not gonna let you hold these for me.
I wouldn't hold them, I'd throw them away. You didn't pay for them?
She gave them to me. I didn't ask for them to be. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Bye. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna be here being judged by you.
Oh, no.
A car's coming.
As we were about to leave, Caroline told me that the store owner was hoping she could have said goodbye. In my rush, I had left without saying anything. So I went back over to let her know how much I appreciated her kindness.
You came back to say bye to me?
I was so excited about those candy cigarettes, I got distracted. That was so fun.
Do you want another one?
No, that's okay because they're all criticizing me for my candy cigarettes.
Why?
They're all making fun of me. I hope you have a blessed day today.
As we started riding, I thought about how you can connect with a person over many things. Sports, shared activities, even over fun, nostalgic things. And that any conversation can be more significant than it first appears. As we were riding by a farm, I spotted a couple out feeding hay to their cows. I introduced myself to Ryan and his wife, Bethany. He was 25 and she was 23.
What do y'all value and what's important to y'all?
I feel like we value our families a lot. You know, being close to your family is really important. We're going to remember how close we were with our families, and we hope when we have kids one day that we can bring them up with those same values.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan, Bethany, when you look out at all this land you have here and just seeing creation, who do y'all attribute all of this creation to?
To God.
To God?
Yes, yeah, we're Christian. We did attend it's technically non-denominational. The preacher's more Baptist though, so Baptist background. He grew up Catholic and converted when we got together.
You kind of got on him, showed him the way a little bit better. No.
No, I didn't mind that he was from a different denomination than I was. You know, because he's still Christian, he still believes in the same values, but he wasn't faithfully going to church.
Yes.
And so I brought him with me, and he ended up getting saved into the Baptist church. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're kind of indebted to Bethany, aren't you?
Some, a little bit.
So do y'all ever have an argument?
Oh, well, yeah. Mostly about these cows right here.
Really?
If you don't have an argument, you're not living life.
You're probably not being your own person, huh? If you could ask Jesus to do one thing for you or for this world, what would you ask him?
For me, patience. I don't have a lick. And no matter how much I pray and try, I think whenever you pray for something, I think he doesn't give it to you. I think he puts you in situations to where you can use it. Because every time
work it out.
Every time I pray for something, he puts me in a couple situations. It's like, and then in the back of your mind, it's like, well, I prayed for this.
Wow. Bethany, how about you?
I don't know. I just wish that the world was kinder.
Kinder.
I wish we could go way back to Adam and Eve, and they would have never sinned, so that we could all live perfect lives.
That sounds pretty good to me. Y'all, thank you so much. Let me give you guys a hug.
Despite their young age, there was something so straightforward and charming about this couple. I found it refreshing. Today really showed me that every conversation is important, no matter how small. Wherever we are, wherever God has placed us, And the key is to simply start one. Today, my friend Ben joined the ride to give us some encouragement. We are riding about 100 miles from Farmington, Missouri to Carbondale, Illinois. We heard the news that a section of road near the Mississippi River was flooded, so we needed to reroute. With all the reports of flooding, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. As we crossed the Mississippi, all we could see to our left and right was water. Farmland, houses, businesses, all flooded. Wow. That thing just burned down. Whoa. Wow. Okay, this has been an interesting day. We've seen a lot of water. And we have not seen many people at all. Whenever you hear news about places around the world, about people, it's really hard. It's really hard to take it all in and appreciate what they're dealing with till you're there up close and personal.
Yeah, nothing like being in the middle of the street with a problem like this.
At mile 75, the sky opened up and unleashed everything it had. We took cover under a nearby carport, hoping it would pass. I'm gonna wait like 5 minutes and see what happens. To my dismay, the rain and hail came down even harder, so we packed up our bikes and drove the remaining way to our motel in Carbondale. We were all cold, wet, and tired. I was just about to head to my room when a young woman behind the front desk said she would love to talk with us and introduced herself as Diana. And we were talking about this whole thing of kindness that I said, you know, we're trying to be kind, curious, respectful about people's stories. And tell me what's on your mind about that.
In this environment that we're in right now, people are just coming out and thinking that if you're not wealthy, it's because you did something wrong. Or if you're not well enough off to buy a big nice home or the nicest car or cover all of your debts all the time, that you must have done something wrong or didn't work hard enough. And a lot of these people, I think, you know, I've worked just as hard, if not harder, in a different way. That doesn't mean that I'm less than human or less than deserving of other people. You know, right now I can't afford health care. So what happens when I get sick?
Diana, can I say something? I have a daughter who's a single mom. And she works really hard and she rents. And Diana, I want to say to you, I don't think of you as less than.
Thank you.
Because of whatever you do, and I can believe that you work really, really hard. And as a person who doesn't even know you, I just want to affirm you for working really hard to be a single mom.
If people aren't helping each other and they're only helping themselves, this is not good under any religion or any just kindness of heart. It's not good to be that way. You know?
Diana, you mentioned religion. What does that have to do with any of this for you? What is there any of that?
So shockingly, I don't look like the average Muslim, but I am Muslim. And I've had people say things to me because they don't know that I'm Muslim. Negative things towards Islam because of what's in the news every day. And there are extremists in every religion. But the basic teaching of Islam is to be kind and charitable and humanity. And I recently had an aunt who took me off of her Facebook page because she told me that Islam was a horrible religion and they were evil and bad people. I've been in this community here for years, and I can absolutely say the complete opposite. It has not been that way in any way.
You know, Diana, I actually have a job outside of riding my bike for 1 month. I'm a pastor, and you know what? I feel honored to get to talk to you. I want you to know that.
Thank you. People always talk about the whole Jesus is the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
The matter of the fact is that we're all children of God. He chose him to give his message and deliver it. So to me, it was a metaphor. So I don't feel like I lessen Jesus in any way. I don't feel that I lessen Prophet Muhammad in any way, but we were taught that they were both men and sent by God. But there's just one God. So that for me was the way I always felt I remember sitting in Sunday school. But it's really basically just accepting that God made you. God does those things for you. And our actions and belief that we get from the examples of someone like Jesus or Prophet Muhammad is what guides us to where we need to go. So everybody's fighting over who's right and who's wrong. And we don't give respect to the different religions that can help us learn something maybe in a different view or a different light.
Yeah.
So most people, if they read the Bible and they read the Quran, there's not a whole lot of difference.
If I lived here, we would be friends, and we would be having some cups of coffee over this, you know?
That would be nice.
And it would be nice. And, you know, over time, we would trust each other so we could go to deeper levels. So I'm curious, what would it look like to have respect and to be able to have disagreement? Like we could really kind of get into things.
I think at the end of the day, you have to be extremely confident in your own self and have your own convictions.
So it's not about what I say or you say, it's about us.
We know who we are. We can respect each other's ideas and learn from each other. When people ask me about Islam, I always start the conversation usually with, I'm not here to convert you. I'm here to let you understand what and how I believe. And if you have any questions, I would like to solve those for you so that you get a better understanding of who we are as Muslims. People will always want to be right, but if you have two intelligent people who understand their own religion, that's the thing, I think. I think a lot of people say I'm this or that, but they don't really understand the workings of it.
They haven't read, they haven't.
Exactly. In the end, it's God's decision who goes where. It's not mine. It's not yours. We can't make that decision for anyone.
Yeah.
So when people were telling me that my father, because he was Christian, would go to the hellfire, I had a few of those. Someone very
when Muslims
wise,
would
yes, yeah, or vice versa.
Yes, or vice versa.
Somebody very wise informed me that in the end, if someone has lived a good life, done well by their neighbors and well by themselves, and not harmed anybody, it's up to Allah what will happen to them in the end. And he'll give them a test, and all kinds of people can go to heaven.
You know, Diana, that reminds me of something that happened one day. You know, I totally agree with you. I'm not the decider of who goes where. And so, you know, as a pastor, I'm just saying, here's what the Bible says. But I'm not trying to make a judgment on everybody. So one time, you know, I was talking about one of those hard verses where Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and life. No one comes to the Father but through me. And somebody said to me, Neil, are you saying my grandmother isn't going to heaven? And I said, I don't even know your grandmother.
Yeah.
Tell me about your grandmother. She sounded like an awesome woman. Here's what I know Jesus said, I'm the way and truth and life. No one comes to the Father but through me. But I don't know your grandmother's heart.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's interesting, just that kind of thing of, I have to leave that to God.
Yes.
And to try to be as clear and accurate to the message of Jesus as I can. It's the same way as you're trying to be clear and accurate to the message of Allah.
And I think if people just relax a little bit. We all have to get up in the morning, and we all have to put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time, and we all have to go out to our jobs. We all have to support our families. Just let's go back to the basics and remember how people used to help each other and go from there and build something better.
So I want to ask a favor.
Hmm.
Can I see a picture of your granddaughter, and I'll show you a picture of mine?
Oh, yes. Here is my granddaughter.
All right. This conversation was exactly what this trip was about. We were courteous and kind to each other. We had talked about deeper matters, and the door was open to further conversations. Today is day 22, the official 2/3 point of the trip. We have a lighter day scheduled, only 84 miles, from Carbondale, Illinois to Cave in Rock State Park. Near lunchtime, there wasn't a town in sight, but we eventually came across a small grocery store with a covered seating area. A guy sat next to me. I soon learned his name was Mark. He was a former Special Ops Navy officer, and he is also cycling across the country. So how long were you in the military, Mark?
It was 12 years.
How did that impact you? Coming out of that, what did you think?
Oh, it's a heavy question.
That is a heavy question. I like asking heavy questions, you know.
Well, I was medically retired.
Okay.
For a traumatic brain injury. Did explosive ordnance disposal. So my bell got rung so many times that my brain would just shut off every once in a while.
Where were you doing that?
2 deployments to Iraq and 3 to Afghanistan.
Wow. Thanks, man. Gosh.
So I just knew that before I moved on to the next chapter, I just kind of wanted to close all that and give myself a reprieve. And this is my reprieve.
How's it been for you, just getting away from that?
I'm actually happy to be away from it.
Yeah.
I had a rough go. You know, I kept finding myself in situations where you never know if you're being stubborn or if the universe is trying to tell you something, and I think the universe is trying to tell me that the military wasn't for me. I look back and never belonged there in the first place.
Wow. Some people see all that crazy stuff and it causes them to believe in God. Some people see that stuff and they like, man, if God exists, I don't want any part of it. Some people think, no way. What did that do for you, Mark, and that whole idea?
Coming from a pastor, I feel like you're just giving me another loaded question.
I told you I'm full of them. I really want your opinion. I'm just curious.
I don't share y'all's beliefs. I respect them. But I've had plenty enough close calls, and I do believe in something spiritual out there. I don't know what it is, because there's been many times we're on a mission for no reason at all. I knew something was up. I knew something wasn't right before we even went out on the mission. We either someone got badly hurt, someone got killed, and so I got better and better at trusting his instincts. And you know, there's definitely something greater than us out there.
If there's something out there, like, what would it take to say, okay, I think I believe in it, you know?
You know, there's many cultures in this world. There's many things that make people go around. I don't think it's as simple as one answer. I think what you're doing right now is a great thing, of getting out and talking and listening to people. So I think what you're doing is absolutely important. I really do believe that regardless of someone's faith or opinion or origin, the best thing you can do for another human is to listen. Like, listen without
I love that, Mark.
Of changing their mind. They're just trying to understand where they're coming from. And it garnishes more empathy. And on that note, I'm going to keep playing.
After saying goodbye to Mark, we got back on our bikes and rode all afternoon. I thought more about what Mark said. If you really want to connect with others, you need to understand where they are coming from and what experiences led them to become the people they are. And the best thing you can do is simply listen. Today we have a 105-mile ride to Hardinsburg, Kentucky, with another climb of more than 5,200 feet ahead of us. As we got to town, I met Lonnie, who owned the local ferry.
So how in the world did you decide to buy a ferry?
Well, it's the lifeline to this town. And I farmed several thousand acres. And my wife and I was sitting there one day, and I said, you know, that ferry is tied to the bank, and the town is dead. I'm going to go down there and buy that ferry boat company and open it back up. She said, you can't do that. Well, 15 minutes later, I went back and I said, I bought it.
Wow. So can I ask you how much that ferry cost you?
I gave $500,000 for it.
$500,000. How many years ago?
26 years ago.
Okay. Have you made your money back from it?
Yeah, a few times.
That's awesome, man. Okay, you're going to show me your office, huh?
Yeah. That came off the American Queen when they junked it. That was in the gift shop.
So, Lonnie, what's important to you?
The community.
This community, yeah. You're trying to help it stay alive, huh? You were married 57 years. Wow. That sounds like a hard goodbye. What was your wife's name, Lonnie?
Shirley.
Shirley. How did you meet Shirley?
Well, I went to high school with her.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I married her, she'd work in the governor's office in Springfield. And so I brought her down here and gave her a real good job, you know. Of course, she was a brilliant woman, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. Very smart.
What's something you really miss about Shirley?
Our business meeting.
Your business meetings.
Sorry.
Hey, buddy. Man, 57 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Come back here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
We went everywhere. We went South America and everywhere else.
Whoa.
We done a lot of traveling.
Sounds like you've had a good life, Lonnie.
I've had a good life. I had a good wife.
Yeah.
You know, that guy running the boat down there now, I could go to New Orleans and stay for a year and a half, and come back, he'd still be doing what he is today. He'd still be getting here on time and leaving when he's supposed to.
That's nice, isn't it? You know, when you said that, it made me think of, the word I thought of was faithfulness. You said, you know, you can go and he'll be back and forth and back and forth. And
faithfulness.
Yeah. What a great picture of God. He said, I'm going to bring the sun up in the morning, I'm going to bring it down at night, and I'm going to bring it up in the morning again. What would you say to somebody who doesn't believe in Jesus? What would you say to
What
them?
have you got to lose?
The team and I climbed aboard Lonnie's ferry and we were on our way. Lonnie loved his wife and his family. He'd saved his town, and he seemed like a man who had experienced a lot of genuine success. As we stopped at a gas station, I met a man who jumped right into an intense conversation.
You're in the heart of the KKK. It's right here.
Wow.
They've stood right here with their robes looking for donations. And when you go to Hartford and Beaver Dam, if that's where you're going, that's the thick of it right there. It's the first time I saw it, I was shocked. I thought they're still doing this.
What about the church here? Like, what's happening with all of that in the midst of all
Catholic
this?
church?
Any church.
Oh.
Do you have any experience with church here
Sure.
yourself?
I was raped as a kid at the age of 11, kidnapped, beaten, tortured by a priest. I figured out how to sue the Catholic Church here in Kentucky, and that's where it started.
Oh, man.
Yeah, beaten into unconsciousness.
I want to ask you a question after having been through all that. What do you think about God or a God or that whole thing after living through all of that?
Well, considering that it took me 8 years to find the case that would toll the statute of limitations to hold these people accountable, and the first thing I did was drop on my knees and thank God for showing me. Oh, yes.
Did they tell you I'm a pastor?
A what?
A pastor.
Oh, no, I didn't know anything about that.
Well, I want to say something. When I hear stories like yours, I want to say, man, I am sorry that happened to you.
I am too. I'm sorry it happened to me.
It's so wrong.
We continued along the route and found ourselves in Amish country. The serenity of this land filled me with peace, which was such a contrast from the intensity of my last conversation. Finally hit the 105-mile mark by early evening once we reached Hardinsburg. What I had seen on this trip so far was that the more I was willing to listen, the more people would talk about what was truly important to them. I thought about how Jesus meets people where they are, how he meets me where I am. Loving people the way Jesus loves them would mean giving more time and attention, more empathy and respect, and wanting to know people's hearts and stories like he does.